So welcome to day 14 of the AWS tutorial where we are learning about the DevOps journey, and particularly we are learning about the AWS cloud where we are talking about the different AWS services. Correct? So till now we have covered how to set up your free AWS account, how to get started with the AWS cloud, why cloud came into the picture, what were the challenges before the cloud. Correct. And to start, we have talked about AWS EC2 instance where we have covered your different kind of instance classes, different kind of instance types, different kind of IP addresses, private, public, elastic IP address. We have talked about elastic block storage. We have talked about launch template, auto scaling group, user data, your path-based routing, application load balancer, network load balancer, and the different properties. Also, we have talked about IAM role policy and the groups and the users. Correct. Today, we are going to start with AWS VPC. That's the one of the main component of the networking where your all AWS services, maximum AWS services lies within the VPC only. VPC, when we say, that means virtual private cloud. So within the cloud, it's a sub area. So let's go with the simple explanation, a very simple example which can be very much helpful for you to understand. So let's suppose there are these five members. Actor 1, when we say the actor 1, just suppose that it's a random member. So there is a one member from the UP, there is a second member from the Mumbai, there is a third member from the Kashmir, there is a fourth member from the Andhra, and the fifth member is from the Bihar. They all are looking for a job. They all are looking for a job from the different location. They all have received a job opportunity from Delhi NCR. That's your metro city, correct? And that's the capital of India as well, correct? Our country. So they all are looking for a job. They all got a job within the Delhi NCR. It might be your Gurgaon, it might be your Noida or anywhere, or it might be in Delhi. Correct? They got a job. Now they have to get into here in Delhi NCR. They have to work. It's not work from home, correct? Either it's a hybrid mode or your work from office, the new one, correct? The new culture. It might be a hybrid or work from office. It's not COVID call, so no work from home. They all have to come to here, Delhi NCR. So what's the basic thing? They have to reside here, then they can perform their job here. They can perform their duty. They can get into the office on the daily basis. Correct. That's the simple thing. Now, what does that mean? If you relate this with the cloud perspective, this is the on-prem time, correct? When you had to purchase the infrastructure, then you had to run the application. So you had to actually purchase. So if there were no cloud, if there were no rental systems available in the, Delhi NCR, what this UP member will have to do? He will have to come. He or she will have to come to this particular place. He or she will have to purchase a place, and he will have to reside here. Same goes for the Kashmir member as well, for the Andhra member as well, for the Bihar member as well, for the member as well. He will have to come to this particular place. He or she will have to purchase a house or purchase a plot, and he will have to be here for the permanent time. Correct? But this is not the efficient things. You cannot purchase everywhere. Today you are in Delhi NCR, tomorrow you will be in some another city, in the Hyderabad, in the Mumbai, in the Pune, in the UK or somewhere else. Correct. So you cannot go everywhere and you can purchase a land, you can build your house and you stay there. You cannot do this. Correct. So out of these five members, one of the wise member, you can say the UP wala wise man. Correct. So the UP wala wise man thought that why don't I purchase a particular land in this Delhi NCR region here, and I will build a house and I will sell to these people. Correct? You can correlate with cloud vendor. We will come to the cloud perspective as well. Let's go with the example. Here, everyone has to come to Delhi NCR. They had to purchase their own house and they had to live. Correct? Now, apart from that, because they had to move from one place to another place, this Mumbai person has to come here. He has to look for the particular place. He has to build the house. Then he has to live. So it's a long process to be in Delhi NCR. Correct? You purchase, you look for the property, you purchase that, you build your house, then you come here and start living. Now this UPWala wise man thought that I will just give the comfort to these people. I will purchase a land and I will build the houses for all of them, and then I will start selling these houses to these people, or start providing rental system here. I will build the house and I will start providing the rental. Correct. So this Kashmir people will come, it will rent a house and it will start living. This Andhra people will come here in NCR, it will rent this house and it will start living. Same goes for the Haryana people, Punjab people and Bihar people as well. They will come here, they will rent a house and they will start living, and they will perform their job here for 2 years, 3 years, for the time duration they want to live. Correct. And when once they want to go back, they can just end their rental system, they will go back to their hometown, and this place can be rented back to the someone else. Correct. But there was an issue here. When you have purchased a house, you all are living together, so there is no security till now here. Correct. So there are different houses. This Kashmir people is living, this Andhra people is living, Bihar people is living, Punjab people is living, and the Haryana people is living. So right now there is no security, everyone is living together. So just suppose that one of the member from one of the guest for Andhra member is coming, the relative of this member is coming. All the houses are built within this particular block. So if the guest is not aware about this particular member house, he can go to the Haryana member house, he can go to the Kashmir member house, he can move anywhere, because the guest who is coming is not aware of the route. Correct. Where he has to go or where she has to go for this particular Andhra member. Correct. So there is no security kind of a stuff here. Now the picture got changed. Now the UP wala wise man, rather than just building a house in 50 acres land, he thought of, I will build a society. The society, the high-rise society, which is the new concepts in the market. Correct. He just thought of that. What did he do? He built a society of 25 floors with multiple flats, like 4 flat on one floor. That's that kind of construction he has made, the UP wala member. Correct. Now still the people are from Punjab, Telangana, Goa, Kerala, MP. Correct. These are the 5 states now. We are considering all the states maximum. Kashmir, Andhra, we are. So you might not. You should not think in a way that I am just considering few states only. There are multiple states I am considering for my examples. Correct. So now there are Punjab people, Telangana people, MP people, Kerala people, and Goa people as well. The UP wala wise man has built a society with 25 floors with multiple towers and multiple flats on one floor. Now, when any of the guest is coming for this MP member, correct? This MP member house is there, or the flat is there in this particular tower. If any of the guest comes, he has to go from the guard. Correct. He will meet to the guard. He will tell that I have to go to this Punjab people house, or Telangana people house, or the Kerala people house, or the Goa people house. Correct. The guest will tell to this guard. This guard will now directs you that you have to get into this first block, or the second flat, or the third flat, or the fourth flat. So whatever the request you will make to this guard that I have to go to this particular flat, you will be directed to that flat only. Correct. You cannot go anywhere else. Correct. And the same, the flat owner will be notified that your one of the guest has come to meet you. So you will be notified by the for the guest, and guest will be notified for your particular flat. So you will directly move there, and flat owner can directly communicate with that guest. So no one else will be interfered here, no one else will be disturbed here. Correct. So that's the security stuff has been implemented here, so no one is now disturbed. Same goes for your cloud. So now let's understand the same example from the cloud perspective. Correct. So till now you have understood that how things worked from on-prem to cloud. So now let's see the cloud perspective. Earlier, when there was no cloud, everyone, the e-commerce application, like just suppose these are the 5 businesses rather than UP business, Mumbai business, Kashmir business, Andhra business, Bihar business. So these are the 5 people who are trying to launch their businesses. Correct. He has gone to the market, purchased few infrastructure, and he started running his application. Correct. Everyone has to come to the market. They had to purchase their own infrastructure. They start using infrastructure, and they were running the application. Now, few of the organizations thought of why everyone has to purchase everything. Correct? I will purchase the cloud infrastructure. I will build that infrastructure. I will build the data center, and I will start renting system. Correct? I will start renting system. People will come to me. They will utilize my infrastructure. They will provide me the rent for that. Kashmir people, Kashmir businessman will come to this particular place. He will just rent the infrastructure, correct? The built houses. He will just rent the infrastructure in terms of cloud, correct? He will rent and he will utilize. He will run applications. He will run his business. Once he is done with the businesses, he can release the infrastructure that can be now rented for someone else, correct? So that's how your multiple cloud vendors came into the picture. Your AWS as a cloud, your GCP as a cloud, Azure as a cloud, correct? So Microsoft, your AWS, then Oracle, then IBM, multiple cloud vendors came into the picture. They started renting system, correct? But the security was missing here. So now when you have the cloud, like we are talking multiple times about the AWS cloud. So within the AWS cloud, you have a one account. Within one account, you you can have multiple VPCs now. So these smaller blocks are kind of VPC. So just suppose this is one of the AWS account. Within this AWS account, you have multiple VPC. That means multiple particular private areas. Within that you can perform your actions accordingly, correct? So if any of the request is coming, any of the thing is coming, they had to go from the guard. That means some kind of roles or permission will be there to log in into your AWS account. It will be accessed through access key, secret access key, or your management account role, whatever the kind of permission suits you have created here. So then you will be able to log in into this AWS account. Once you are in the AWS account, you have different regions. You have AP South 1 Mumbai region, you have US 2 London region, you have US East 1 North Virginia region. There are different regions. Within the different regions, there are VPCs. Correct? You can launch VPC A, VPC B, VPC C, and so on. For each VPC, there will be some security. There will be some guard associated with that VPC. Correct? If you are allowed to get into that VPC, you will be getting into that VPC, you will perform the action and you can come out, correct? So every VPC will have some guard. So this is how the cloud came into the picture here. It has started renting system. Then the cloud provided you one AWS account. While we are talking about the AWS, same goes for GCP and Azure as well, and other cloud providers as well. You have one account for in that particular cloud. Within that cloud, you have multiple VPC. That means for your private networking area. Within that private networking area, there will be some security stuffs through which you can get into that particular area and you can perform the actions. Now let's come to the real picture of the AWS. Here you have a user, correct? This is the VPC block. The bigger one is the VPC block. If you have to get into the VPC from the external world, from the internet side, internet gateway should be associated with this VPC. This internet gateway will only allow any request which is coming from the internet to this VPC. It's just a high level overview how your security stuffs, how your VPC looks like, correct? So any request which is coming from the outside, that has to go from the internet gateway. This internet gateway will be the part of some of the route tables. So just suppose this internet gateway is associated with one of the route tables. So now with the help of internet gateway, you have get into the VPC, correct? You have to go up to the server here, public EC2 or private EC2, correct? Your application is running over here on the EC2 side, either on private EC2 or on the private public EC2. You have to go up to the server when you are making any www.abc.com, that kind of request that is coming from the internet. It has to go up to the EC2 machine. So how your traffic will go? It is coming from the outside, so it will go through the internet gateway. Internet gateway is attached with one of the VPC, so it will get into that VPC. From the internet gateway, this internet gateway will be part of the sum of the route table. It will go to the route table. This route table will have association with the subnets, public subnet, private subnet, and the different kind of subnets. Based on the request from where it is coming, on which IP address it has to go, it will route your traffic to the subnets, either to this subnet, public subnet one or private subnet one, based on the configuration what you have configured, correct, and based on the request which is coming. But before getting into the subnet, it will go through the NSCL. So this is kind of the first level of guard within the VPC. So this NSCL will now check whether this particular request which is coming from the route table, whether it is allowed to go into this subnet or in the second subnet. It will check. The NSCL will check here. Based on that, it will allow to get the request into this subnet or this subnet, the second one. The request will go up from the subnet to your from NSCL to your subnet, correct. I just suppose that it has come to this first one. Now before getting into the public EC2 machine, then public EC2 machine, second guard is here, that will be called as security group. Security group will check whether this request is allowed to get onto the server or it's not allowed. If it's allowed, it will go to the server, and the same request can come outside as well, and it can come to the internet here. If it's not allowed, it will be just denied over here and your request will be blocked here, correct. So as if you can see, to get into the VPC, the first layer of access is internet gateway, then it will come to the route table. From the route table, it will be decided in which subnet it has to go. But before getting into the subnet, NSCL will check whether it's allowed to get into that or not. If NSCL approve that it can be allowed, it will go. If NSCL does not approve, it will be blocked here only. The request will be blocked over here only. It will not go anywhere within the VPC. If NSCL approves that request can go, it will come here. Once the NSCL has approved, the request will come to up to subnet only. After the subnet, security group will check whether it is allowed to get into the server or not. If it's allowed, it will go up to the server. So one major question comes from here as well. Where does NSCL work? Where does security group as well? Your security groups work as a guard system for your server, for your EC2 instances, while your NSCL works as a guard for subnet, correct. So NSCL operates on the subnet level, security group works on your server level, correct. Security group is stateful. That means it allows all inbound and outbound. Whatever the request you allow as a inbound, that will be auto accepted as outbound. That request can go outside. While NSCL supports stateless. Whatever you configure to get into that subnet, it should be allowed as outbound as well. That means that request can should come outside as well. So in NSCL you have to define inbound and outbound both, while in the security group you don't have, you have to define only inbound rules. Outbound rules it remembers automatically. That means it's stateful. So this is the high level of overview of your VPC. How does VPC works? What is the VPC? Why? How VPC helps? What's the rental system for the VPC here? Correct. That you can understand. So I hope I'm able to explain how your VPC works, how security groups, how NSCL works on a very high level. Correct. So in next video we will be talking more into the demo side on the AWS console, how your VPC can be created, how your different route tables IGW can be created, how one of the public EC2 instance can be launched within this VPC, and we will talk about the subnets and other details. So let's meet in the next video with the details. Till the time you can subscribe the channel. I hope you like the videos as well, and if you are liking this video, you are good with this content, you can hit the subscribe button, and that will be helpful for me to create the content as well. So till the time, thank you, bye bye. Welcome to the channel, and today is the day 15th where we used to learn about the DevOps journey and specifically about the AWS cloud. So today we'll be covering about the Amazon VPC. That's one of the important service of the AWS cloud itself. Till now we have covered about the cloud perspective, why cloud came into the picture, and the different properties about the cloud. The use case of the cloud we have seen, and we have also talked about the AWS EC2 service in detail. We have talked about the user data, elastic IP addresses, public IP, private IP, elastic block storage, then the different classes of the EC2 instances. And at the same time, we have talked about how to run your first shell script on the EC2 instances. We have also talked about your IAM roles, user policy, and all these topics. And we have talked about the load balancer, the different kind of load balancer, and path-based routing. In today's video, we will talk about the Amazon VPC and kind of subnets and the internet gateway. Then we will try to see one demo as well how to create first VPC. So let's start with the VPC itself. So let's go with the point itself, and the first point in terms of VPC. If you have not understood the VPC, you can watch out the previous video, day 14, where you will understand in details what's the purpose of VPC and what's the VPC in actual. Correct. So let's start from here. The first point, allow you to establish boundaries around your AWS resources. So whatever the AWS resources you want to launch, when we say the AWS resources, that means the different AWS services. So if you want to launch your AWS EC2 instance, if you want to launch your AWS RDS instance, if you want to launch your AWS Lambda function, so all these services can be bind within, or a boundary can be set for all these different resources, so that the networking will lie within a particular area only, and that particular area will be called as your virtual private cloud. So the VPC will set a particular area. Within that particular area, you can deploy your the different services, as you can see from the diagram as well. So this yellow diagram is a kind of VPC, and within this VPC you have all these resources deployed, the EC2 instances, the routers, and the different resources which are there. And if you want to connect it to from the on-prem, there is you can see the customer network. That's the on-prem kind of thing, your data center kind of thing. And if you want to connect it through your cloud, there is a secure VPN between the cloud and between on-prem data center as well. So is AWS VPC creates a boundary for your resources. Then whenever you launch your AWS account, you get a default VPC in each AWS region. So now when we say the AWS region, that means your Mumbai region, your North Virginia, your Sydney region, your US to London region. So in all these regions, you get a one default VPC. You can launch your AWS resources into this VPC. When we create VPC, specify a CIDR block range of, for example, 10.00/16. CIDR is nothing but it's just a kind of your pool of IP address ranges. So whatever the CIDR you mentioned, there is a particular calculation that we will talk about, that how many number of IP addresses will be there. So based on that, a particular a set of IP addresses allocated to that particular VPC area, and these IP addresses can be further utilized for networking within the different resources. A VPC span all of the availability zones in the region. So the VPC will be having your like if you are creating your VPC in AP South 1, that's your that is in your Mumbai region. So this VPC will be available throughout the complete region. That means it will be available within the different availability zones which are part of that region. Then moving further, you can see VPC stands for Virtual Private Cloud, which is a secure, isolated private cloud that is hosted within a public cloud. Correct. So the public cloud, when we say that, that means your AWS cloud, your Google cloud, or your Azure, all these public cloud where we create a VPC. When we say the AWS, it's VPC. In other cloud provider, it will be with the different names. Then there are few more pointers about that the same. Now let's move to the different features of the VPC. So a VPC is a virtual network that closely resembles a traditional network that you would operate in your own data center. So like if you have your own data center, you will do all the networking, all the wirings, and the maintaining of those wirings and all these stuffs in your own data center. While if you create a VPC, you don't have to be much worried about this networking configuration. VPC will take care of that, and you have to just go with the, like you have to just play with the console where you will be creating the different subnets, you will be passing the different CIDR. So those kind of console play you have to do. A subnet, let's understand about the subnet as well. So within this VPC, if you see the previous diagram, this is the area of VPC. Within this particular VPC, if you want to segregate this area into two parts, so you can mark one part as a and second part as a B. That we have talked in earlier video as well, day 14, where I have explained the concept of your subnets, the different subnets, the route tables, and all those things. So a subnet is a range of IP address in your VPC. A subnet must reside in a single availability zone and within the VPC itself. Correct. So whatever the IP address range will be there for the VPC, a subnet will be the part of that. That means it's a kind of subset for the your VPC. After you add subnets, you can deploy AWS resources in your VPC. Correct. Let me do Control Z. Yeah. Then use route tables to determine where network traffic from your subnet or gateway is directed. Gateway connects your VPC to another network. So it might be your internet gateway or customer or different kind of endpoints or gateway. But the purpose of gateway is to route your traffic from one place to another place. So it defines or it connects your VPC to another network. For example, use an internet gateway to connect your VPC to the internet, or you can use a VPC endpoint that we will talk about later on. VPC endpoint to connect to AWS services privately without the use of internet gateway to or NAT device. So VPC endpoint we use for creating your private network within your to establish the connection between two AWS resources while keeping your networking as a private one. Then moving forward, the different features of the VPC. Use a VPC peering connection to route traffic between the resources in two VPC. So just suppose that you have one database in first first VPC, and then you have the application lying in the second VPC. And now you have to make the connection between these two VPCs so that your data can be retrieved either the right kind of thing or the read kind of thing. Then you can establish the VPC peering connection to read the data or to write the data into a second VPC. Then there are a few other top features of the VPC as well. The transit gateway, flow log. Flow log will capture information about the IP traffic going to and from network interface in your VPC. So whatever the network logs will be generated, that will be stored in your VPC flow logs. So that either you can create a S3 bucket, you can store all these flow logs in that bucket, and whenever you want to analyze that based on some issues or something, you can do that. Moving forward, let's talk about the subnets here. So subnets are nothing but just a subset of the VPC itself, you can say. So as per the diagram, you can see the first block stands for the AWS cloud. Within this AWS cloud account, there is a second green box which stands for your VPC, and within this VPC we have two subnets, public subnet and private subnet. So subnets are just part of the VPC. That means if this particular VPC has 1000 number of IP address, so your public subnet might have 700 of IP address and 300 subnets for private subnet, 300 IP address for private subnet. So this kind of allocation can be done within the VPC to make some of the resources your public and to make some of resources as a private. Correct. So within a VPC, you can organize your resources into subnets. A subnet is a section of VPC in which you can group resources based on the security or operational needs. So when we say the security, that means which kind of traffic can come to this subnet, which kind of traffic can go outside this subnet. So that will be that we can control within this subnets. Each subnet must reside entirely within one availability zone and cannot span zones. Correct. So your public subnet might be in AP South 1A, your second subnet might be in AP South 1B, or any particular availability zone. Your subnet may lie at one time. Your subnet may lie in one availability zone only. Then let's talk about the public and private in details. So if a subnet is traffic is routed to an internet gateway, the subnet is known as a public subnet. So it's just like that property. Like if you are requesting your any kind of request you are making to the public, and your traffic is being routed to internet gateway from the subnet, so that subnet will work as a public subnet. Correct. And for that, to make that particular subnet as a public, you will have to add a route in your subnet route table. So your subnet will lie somewhere in a route table. It will be having net subnet association with some of the route table. To make that subnet public one, you will have to mention the route in your route table where your subnet is associated as a 00. That means the route table will have the association with the internet gateway, and route table will be having the association with your subnets as well. Then your subnet will be public one, as you can see from the diagram itself as well. Here if you can see IGW is attached here in the custom route table 000, and IGW is there. So now your subnet becomes as a public subnet. While for the private one, you can see for the private one, NAT gateway is mentioned with the 00 destination. That means the NAT gateway is also working like this. This is mentioned in the public subnet, and from the public subnet, it's finally going to the your IGW internet gateway. So the private subnet does not have directly access through to the internet, but it has the access through the net, then from up to the internet. Correct. So that's the feature of your public subnet and the private subnet as well. So here you can see the for the private subnet the second diagram. A private subnet does not have a route to the internet gateway. You can use a network address translation NAT. This one stands for your NAT. NAT gateway to enable instances in a private subnet to connect to the internet or other AWS services. Then the final one is internet gateway. So if you have to make your subnet as a public one, and you have to make the connectivity with the internet, like you have launched your EC2 machine, and on that server you have to install some of the software which are kind of open source or which are publicly available. To install this software you will run few commands, and that will go to the internet. It will install the software. For that you will require the access of internet. So here internet gateway comes into the picture. Your EC2 instance lies within one subnet. This subnet is a part of one VPC. That means it's a virtual private cloud, so it's a private area. Now the request has to go from this VPC to the internet. So for that there will be internet gateway which will make the connection to the internet, and it will install the softwares on your server. So internet gateway is always attached with the VPC. So you can see the first point, attach an IGW to the VPC to allow public traffic from the internet to your VPC. Sorry, without an IGW no one can access the resources inside your VPC. So to access your resources within the VPC, you will have to attach the internet gateway so that request can go and come outside. Allow instances in a VPC to access the internet. That's the feature of the internet gateway. And now let's directly move to the your AWS console where we will create one of the VPC, and we will see how you can create first VPC from the console itself. So here we are on the AWS console, and you can search about the VPC this service. Let's get into there. And as you had already seen the pointer that whenever you create your AWS account in each AWS region, you get a default VPC. So here also you will see there will be one VPC running, and that is the default VPC. Now we have to create VPC according to ourselves. So I will go with the VPC only configuration. If you click on the create VPC, you will see you have to pass the name, you have to pass the different configuration. So just for demo purpose, I'm just giving the name demo-vpc. CIDR I will pass as 10.0.0.0/16. That will be CIDR. That means how many number of IP addresses will be there. Then tenancy default, and the name. This will be the name of the VPC, demo VPC. Let's click on the create VPC. So your VPC is created now. Now let's directly move to the internet gateway. So one default internet gateway is also there. Let's click on the create internet gateway, and here I am saying a demo IGW. Create internet gateway, and you can see right now this internet gateway is in detached mode. So if you see the PPT, here we talked about that whenever you create internet gateway, it should be attached to the VPC. Correct. So either you can detach or attach, but if you have to make your VPC, all the resources which are in the VPC, they have to communicate with the internet gateway. Sorry, to the internet. The internet gateway should be attached with the VPC. So right now your internet gateway is not attached to any VPC. So you will have to attach it with some of the VPC here. Right now it's empty. Correct. So let's click on the attach to VPC. Search for your VPC and click on attach internet gateway. Now it's attached. So the resources which will lie in this particular VPC, demo VPC, that can have the access of the internet, because this internet gateway is attached with your VPC ID. Correct. Then if you want to create any subnets, you can click on the create subnet here. You can select your VPC where you have to create the subnets. You can give any name, like I'm just passing one name, public subnet hyphen one. Then you can select your availability zone, in which availability zone you want to create. As we had already talked that your each and every subnet should be the part of one availability zone at one time. So you can select one availability zone here. Then you can pass the CIDR, and your CIDR for the subnet should be in the subset, should be the subset of your IP address. Sorry, the CIDR of your VPC. So as you can see, for the VPC it was 10.00/16, and for your subnet it will be 10.0.1.0, then 28 we can give. Then let's click on the create, and your subnet has been created. So in a similar way you can create the different subnets as well. Now this subnet should be the part of route table. So for now you can see there is no route table associated over here. So let me create one route table here, and let me call it demo route, and then select the VPC what we have created. Let's click on the create route table, and within this route table you can do the subnet associations. So just click on the edit subnet association and select your subnet, save association. So your subnet has been attached in this route table. It is the part of this route table, and this route table will have the access of your internet gateway. So here you can add the route as well, 00, then the internet gateway here, and you can select your demo IGW, save changes. So now what the structure is there, if you can see where we have this public subnet. So this public subnet has the access of the internet gateway. This is the part, internet gateway is the part of your route table, and your subnet is the part of the custom route table. So now this subnet has been become your public subnet, correct? So this is what we have established here. This route table has the association of the internet gateway. This route table has the association of your subnet. So whatever resources you will create in this particular subnet, that can have the access of the internet gateway, because your internet gateway is attached with this particular VPC. So in this particular video we just wanted to cover this much only, the VPC and the different concepts of the subnet, then the internet gateway as well. And in the next video we'll be talking about the net gateway and other topics related to VPC and the different services. So till the time, stay tuned with the channel, subscribe to the channel, and let's meet in the next video. Thank you.